Joining us now for his weekly take on political news from all levels of government is the one and only friend of our show, CTV's political commentator, Scott Reid. Scott, good to see you.
Good to see you.
The one and only, absolutely. No doubt about that. There is no other Scott Reid, ladies and gentlemen. Scott, curiously, just to pick up quickly on what Courtney was just talking about, you know, we've seen the government get involved in sort of back to work here. The feds will be watching this closely. No strike at the moment here, but what do you think is happening behind the scenes right now?
Probably the labor minister. This is a federal responsibility, so that's why we're talking about it in that sense, right? Transport. Probably the federal labor minister is putting a lot of pressure on the union, on the employer, saying, get to the table, work out a deal, do not displace this many people on the holiday. But at the end of the day, it does come down to the party. So then the question becomes, and this is where it becomes a political hot potato, well, do you force them back to work? Do you force the union back to work with legislation? And you've seen that occur sometimes. Governments are reluctant to do that. And they're reluctant to do it because they don't want to reward the parties for not agreeing. And so then they take all the responsibility. On the other hand, the public is like, dude, I booked Dominican Republic and I want to be there on December 26th. So there'll be competing political pressures. My guess is the government will try to keep hands off and say, you guys have to fix your own mess.
Okay, we'll watch.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of messes, this has the potential to be one. Let's talk about the Carney government and this pipeline deal and the Conservatives in the mix. And there's a motion going forth.
This is kind of fun. Like this is Christmas hijinks. So the Conservatives have put a motion into the House of Commons using much of the language from the memorandum of understanding, which would build a pipeline notionally to BC's Pacific Coast. A lot of opposition on BC coastal chiefs, and it's asking the government to endorse this motion. You would think it would be a slam dunk to the government and say, yeah, we're actually the ones that created this agreement. But the motion does not include all the sort of bargain that the government got. So it doesn't include things like carbon capture and agreeing, as the Alberta government has, that it will submit to carbon pricing and so forth. So the Liberals are going to vote against it. The Conservatives are really trying to jam the Liberals, trying to like put them in a position. Now the Liberals aren't as dedicated to pipelines. So they're playing with their base. They're actually hoping, I think, to split the Liberals, getting some Liberals to vote for it, some to vote against it. You know, this is the kind of thing where the Conservatives are going to say, good, all right, we got back on our feet. But ultimately, I mean, are any of us in the Christmas season say, my God, how did that motion play out in the House of Commons? And it's non-binding, it doesn't mean a damn thing, you know?
Exactly,
so like, you know, you kind of watch it, but it's a smart political tactic to the Conservatives, so credit for them. They forced the Liberals to make a decision.
Could be more consequences here, though, Scott, on the provincial side of things. You know, OPP now investigating a company that received money from the Ontario government. It's not the Skills Development Fund, but it's connected to the Skills Development Fund scandal.
Because the company in question received grants from a couple of different places, including the Skills Development Fund. But yeah, there was a spot audit. So it is worth mentioning, like, I mean, first of all, zip has been proven, so let's be fair to all those involved. But there was a spot audit. It detected some irregularities, they say, got referred to the police. The police did say, we've examined it and we deem it worthy of investigation. So that's a little bit nervous. The political dimension comes into it because the minister, Dave Piccini, who's been under fire for the Skills Development Fund, photographed at a hockey game with the person who leads this company, at a wedding with the major lobbyist for this company. So people are suggesting there's an inside track, lots of political ties, friends of the government, big donors to the government, getting money back, all this stuff that you've been hearing the opposition suggest. Now you add the police to it, that makes it a little more real. The government, don't be surprised, is going to say, police investigation, hands off, let the chips fall where they may, and the minister will stay there. But remember, when a similar set of circumstances start to unfold with the Greenbelt, the Premier's been hardcore. I'm standing by Dave Piccini. I'm not letting my minister go. And that's what he said about Steve Clark when Steve Clark was the minister on the spot in the Greenbelt. And after the cops came in, Steve Clark went out. So watch to see how this thing develops, whether there's any further news, and what that might mean for Dave Piccini.
Okay, so much to watch for. That's all the time we have for today, unfortunately, Scott, but have a great weekend. We'll chat again next week. Thank you.